Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is my first illustration video, a very much requested one. I'll just dive right into it. Starting with the basic skirt block, this is what we're trying to achieve. We are trying to achieve a 6-pieces skirt using a basic skirt block, and we're trying to determine where the lace insertion begins from. It can either start from 3 inches from the waistline to the hip line, or 4 inches below the waistline and down to the hip line. Use your discretion to determine the point. From the point you have selected, you now try to get the shape, determine the shape you want the lace to take from the point you have selected, that is 3 inches below the waistline. You mark out your knee line. This is like a 6-pieces skirt, and you determine your knee length and you determine your full length. So from the waist line, from the side back and side front, you make sure that the point you selected from the waistline matches the point you selected on the side back and on the side front pattern. From the knee length, for your 6 pieces, you determine how wide you want it to be and you connect to the length of the dress. For a normal 6 pieces dress, for your center back, you have 2 pieces, and for your side you have 2 pieces at the side, and for your front 6 pieces, you cut the center front on fold and you cut the side front 2 pieces. That's 3 pieces for the front and 4 pieces for the back. But in this case where we are inserting a lace fabric, we're going to connect that point we took from the waist line. Let's call those points point A and B. Point A is the 3 inches from the waistline. So you connect the 3 inches point A to the middle line at the back panel. For the point B, which is at the side back, you connect it to the middle of your side panel on the knee length. Shaded area is going to be the lace insert. So you do the same for the front panel, and you make sure that the point A and B from the sides of the front and the back meet on your pattern, so that when you're cutting your fabric and sewing it, it will give you a seamless finish on the sides. So I've gone ahead to cut out the front panel on a paper, on another paper, and I'll be showing you how it will look like when you get the length of your dress and you make it your 6 pieces. As we all know, for your usual 6 pieces, the center front is cut on fold and the center back is cut as 2 pieces to have allowance for your zipper. And then from the midline separating the center front and the side front is where you determine how wide you want the hem of your dress to be. But in this case where we're having a lace insertion, we're not going to be cutting it straight on the midline. We're going to be following this curve that we picked to our point A. Remember our point A when we started drafting this panel. We're going to be cutting our center front pieces alongside with our point A on the side front piece. After doing that, you add a piece of paper to the knee length, a piece of paper that will be as long as the length of the dress. And from that length of the dress, the hem of the dress now, the hem of the pattern, you determine how wide you want your 6 pieces to be. It could be as wide as 9 inches, it could be as wide as 8, 10, determine on you or the client's preference. So here I'm picking 9, and from that hemline I'm connecting to the knee length, because it's from the knee length out the wideness of the skirt starts from down to the hemline. So this is our center front piece, and it is cut on fold and along this line. For the side front, you're going to add another piece of pattern paper to determine the length of your dress, and from starting from the knee length, like you did for the front center front pattern, you're going to decide how wide you want it. You usually use the same measurement you used from the straight line, from the middle panel line of your pattern. So you determine how wide you want it to be. It should also, you should do it in such a way that when you're joining it from the knee line, it matches the length that you applied for your center front piece. After cutting, you can check to see if it fits. We'll be sewing along this line that we cut earlier on, and from the knee length we'll be joining down to the wideness that we have selected for our dress. You go on ahead to determine the wideness you want for your side pattern, your side panel. It could be as wide as your fabric allows you. It could be as wide as you decide it to be. After doing that, you can now go to your lace insert, which is the panel that is numbered 2. You can now determine from the general wideness of the side panel, you can determine the midpoint. You can use your discretion to determine whatever point you want to, and connect the lace panel, which is number 2 at the knee length, to that point you have selected on the hem of your dress. Although there's another method you could use to make it wider than this, but it's going to be a lot more complicated, will consume more fabric and more pattern paper. So from this point, you cut through your pattern paper to your initial point B that we stated when we were illustrating this pattern, and with that you are done. After cutting your pattern for your front, you should have 3 different pieces: one that is cut on fold, the center front, the middle that is lace, and the side front that is your Ankara fabric. I hope you enjoyed this. Leave any questions you have in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.